Well, here we are. Meet the German land yacht they call the Mercedes GLS. Offering 7 seats, nearly 3 tons of luxury steel, and more electronics than your local JB Hi-Fi store. Mercedes call this the S-Class of SUVs. I call it a rolling palace that thinks it's a sports car. Now, this isn't your average school run special. This one's about to get a second life. We're talking rebuild. And maybe a few questionable choices that'll either make this thing legendary or leave me crying into a pile of broken parts. Over the next few episodes, you'll see the hidden quirks, some classic German over-engineering, and plenty of surprises along the way. Strap in, this GLS isn't just getting a rebuild, it's getting reimagined. This is the 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLS 350D. Now, it's been involved in a bit of an accident, and judging from what I can see initially, there's a bit of hair on the front. Let's have a look. Now, this hair isn't just like any dog hair or anything like that. I do believe it was a kangaroo. And also, judging by the amount of red dirt that's everywhere in the car, on the engine bay, inside, in the door jambs, which you'll see shortly, I believe it was a country car, and it was involved in a hit and run with a skippy. Damage-wise, doesn't look too bad. However, it's going to be a bit costly because one of these alone is worth about $3,000. So this one looks pretty mangled. It is pretty bad. It's opened up, the housing is gone, the inner chrome pieces are gone, the lens is gone, and also one of the ballast for it has corroded inside because it was exposed to water from sitting at auction for such a long time. There's a bit of a close call because we're lucky that the airbags didn't go off. I believe this is an airbag sensor. We've got 2 exposed wires, which I do believe may be from the outside temperature sensor as well into this harness. So that'll have to be looked at and repinned and rewired. Air compressor for the air suspension seems to be good. It just managed to get away. The horns are a bit loose. They're gonna get fixed up as well. Guard liner and a few other bits and pieces. Now the sad thing is, I for the life of me could not find a bumper for this car, but there is something special that's gonna happen with it. So you have to stay tuned and you'll see what's gonna happen with it. Now we are quite lucky as well because the bonnet was completely untouched, unscathed. I have no clue why the insurance company even marked it around here and here because it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. However, the guard did suffer a bit of a dent and a tear with it. And I do believe it was because of the headlight, from the impact from the headlight. It pushed it back a bit as well. This is definitely something that can get fixed, painted, and I think we'll just get away with painting the guard, fixing the guard. Brand new bumper bar as well, paint, and then we'll go from there. What we'll do now is we'll have a look at the car, have a look inside because it's pretty rough. My beliefs for this being a country car, I think are showing up more and more. Red dust, Australian Outback, countryside, whatever you call it. Bit of hay, bit of bird poo, more bird poo. But it's all good because this car is going to get a complete makeover, complete detail once it's ready for that step. And it's going to look $1 million once it's all done. So that whole process we'll get to show you and you'll see exactly the ins and outs of it all. Let's have a look at what's on the dash. We'll just start the car up. The check engine is on. Outdoor temp should be showing up there actually, but I don't know why it's not at the moment. It will just show dashes everywhere for it. You can see just those arrows cycling through, lane keep assist, skip that, brake assist, blind spot, bonnet malfunction, and so on. So just 4 problems. Engine seems to be running okay though. We had a look at it earlier. There were no oil leaks or anything like that, which seems good. But again, it was just red, full of dirt and dust everywhere. We'll get it checked out, we'll get it sorted, we'll put the scan tool on it, see what that check engine light shows up as well, and we'll just go from there. Now having a look at this, we can see in the engine control module what's showing, and we can see that the engine light, I hope this is the cause, outside temperature sensor has a short circuit to positive. Can't delete it, can't do anything with it, keeps coming back, and I think that'll fix our problem. The other modules seem to be okay, nothing too fancy. I think it's just because of the crash. Some crash data might need to be cleared, but that'll fix those issues there. Now that we've gotten the bumper off, seems to be somewhat okay. Bit of a struggle to get the headlight off, I'll admit. What else do we have here? Bumper, headlight, couple of sensors, 360 camera on the front, which all seem to be okay. One parking sensor missing. The front reinforcement bar didn't really take a hit. It would just have to be pulled out slightly with a slide hammer, just because it's slightly indented towards the rear. Air compressor bracket seems to be okay. Now there is a bit of a kink actually here in the hose for the air compressor. I believe this is some sort of filter for it. That'll have to get looked at, and what I'll end up doing is just taking that clamp off and releasing some of the tension in the hose so that you can get proper airflow. Rat support is damaged. I thought I'd gotten away with it, but unfortunately not so. It's got the metal inserts and the plastic covering on top, and I think this may be one of those airbag sensors too. Very lucky the airbags didn't go off. These wires will definitely have to get looked at, because it could be the cause of concern as to why our LEDs aren't working. Now sometimes it may look okay on the outside, but on the inside the wires would be torn. They seem to be okay. Horns, I still don't know where they go. I'll find a spot for them somewhere. There is a bracket that goes from here to the top, just like on the other side, which we will need. There's that bracket there. This bracket, which I cannot even find, it's completely missing. It's just disintegrated completely. And now it started raining, so let's move the car inside. Now back to the headlight. I always dread talking about this headlight because it's an expensive one. Now from Mercedes alone, I think they're worth roughly about $4,500 to $5,500 Australian dollars, and that doesn't include these two computers that control the headlight inside. My plan and aim with this headlight is actually to try and swap out the rear housing, which I have already ordered. I'm just waiting for it to arrive, and the headlight lens. And I ordered those before we took delivery of the car, but to be honest, I don't think it's possible. But we'll try anyway. We'll see what we can do, and fingers crossed. I don't know if this is fixable. To my right, I've got this module, which I do believe is corroded, and we'll definitely try and get a few of those contacts cleaned. It may or may not be the cause of it not working. Broken chrome insert. Now I'm quite disappointed because the chrome, I tried to clean it with just a bit of soapy water in it faded away completely, and this just goes here. But the weird thing is, the chrome on this textured part doesn't get off, only on the shiny bits. Now, headlight is completely mangled. First thing that comes off is the lens with some chrome inserts. We'll leave that off to the side, and it's not looking pretty at all. Dirt and dust everywhere. I think what we'll do is just dig into it and see what happens. Here's a connector. Let's flip it over. There we go. That's the connector for this, and if you come in closer, you will see these pins are corroded. So what I'll have to do is take this out, clean it with a bit of isopropyl alcohol, and hope for the best. Let's see. All right, let's try and take this off and find, it was these on this side. But they're not looking too bad though, I'll be honest with you. They're not looking bad at all. Good. Now what about this? We'll try and clean it, try our luck. Let's undo this quickly. We'll take this computer off. The secret to this is to try and use isopropyl alcohol. Now, very important to not get that alcohol on these chrome bits because it just ruins it. Last bolt. There we go.
Oh man.
I don't think that's good anymore. Well, that might be the reason for it failing. Yeah. Now what happens is, I believe Water got inside the cracks just from the car sitting at auction, obviously not being undercover. The water did seep through. This being on the bottom, I think took the grunt of it all. I think we need a new one. We'll get a new one and we'll see what happens. But I see a few more bolts. Should we try and get this undone? Let's take those bolts off. But yeah, that's bad. I did not expect that. Now, I hope it's this small one. I don't think I've got anything that small. No.
So?
This is bad.
It is.
This is real bad.
Can you find this module for Mercedes?
You can, and we'll put the price up shortly to see how much it is brand new. Oh. Kaput?
Oh man, that's bad. That's pretty bad.
I think that explains why our headlight isn't working and why our dip beam is dead. So we'll have to get a new one. Oh no! Everything. Have a look. Everything is corroded inside. What? What's this crust? Wow. Well, that's bad. I see a few burn marks. I don't know if you can see those here.
Nah.
That resistor might be gone.
That's not repairable.
I think it's seen better days for sure. New one it is. New one. From what I've seen online, these have to be coded to the car. There is a very important QR code on each individual headlight. You can't code it unless you have these two QR codes. Now, I think that's specific to each headlight due to their different LEDs, maybe just different calibrating values. So we'll have to wait and see once we get the new one to see how we can code it to the vehicle. So now that we've seen that that's not fixable at all, can't do anything. We had our hopes up at least. We'll take this other module off. Maybe, just maybe this one might be better. We did notice the headlights were leveling, moving up and down, and the indicator was working too. Okay, this one's good. Oh, broken. There's always this clip that covers these. There we go. 1, 2. I think that one's good. Looks perfect. So that one's good. That could be responsible for leveling. And then this is for the lights itself. A few more broken pieces. Now, I do not see any wires. I think that fault code for the headlights was due to this unit alone.
For sure.
There's more than a short happening there. We're missing this cap. I don't know if the housing that we got comes with this. Now, I'm really trying my luck, but I don't think I'm in luck. That's broken. This is just bad, man. Okay, let's turn it over again. Come around this side. There are a few different iterations with these headlights. I don't know if I've mentioned it earlier, but the non-AMG versions have these black surrounds around the glass globe on both sides. I don't know why. AMG versions had chrome. So when you go and order parts, you've got to mention if it's AMG or not, because I mean, you wouldn't want to have chrome on one side and black on the other side. So we'll see what we'll find. It's going to be tough, but I think we'll find something. Either get a donor headlight and try to swap everything out, get a few different internals, but it's not looking good. All right, so now you may remember this. To you, it probably seemed like a minute or two since I last talked about this headlight, but in reality, it's been close to a month and a half to 2. What we've got here was that original headlight. We did try to salvage it. In the meantime, we did get these 2 parts. So you may recall this is the lens for it. Very optimistic there. And also the housing. So original plan was get those insides, put it inside this housing, and then glue it all together. Obviously that hasn't happened, it's impossible to do. So back to square one. Brand new headlight from Mercedes-Benz, just the shell, no modules, no nothing with it. Around 4,500 to 5 grand, including GST. Wreckers, I could only find 2 or 3 headlights with that black surround, and I did find some information on that black surround as well. I found out that the 2017, late 2017 onwards, did use the black surrounds around the headlight. It was a minor facelift to them. and they're very hard to come by. So when I say I found only 2 or 3 in the black surrounds, I found only 2 or 3. Now the problem was wreckers wanted around 36 to 4 grand, and there's no way I was paying that. I did manage to get another one. Now you may ask, where from? So this, out of all places, came from Japan. Now I've got to be really careful with it because it was still expensive. Ended up paying 2 grand for it, landed, including GST, including shipping, including customs and duties as well. 2 grand for it, landed. I think that's a good deal. Black surrounds. It is made for the right-hand drive market. As we are in Australia or left-hand side traffic, we're not going to have any compliance or roadworthy issues here. So I'm really happy with it, and I think we've got a good deal. Now, the headlight from Japan didn't come with modules, so it was again just the shell with the internals. You may recall that this was faulty. I did manage to track down a few of these, but it was cheaper to get a whole nother headlight from a wrecker close by. I think I only paid $100 for this. It's from a GLE W166. It is damaged, the housing is broken, the lens is broken. This can be repaired like we initially planned for the GLS headlight. We ended up just using the modules, same modules, they fit right on. We've just put them on here. This is still the original one from the GLS. We just needed this module here. Now with this replacement module, I think they call it like a LED voltage converter or something like that. Do hope it'll work without needing to be programmed to the car, because you know what it's like with these headlights now. Any module that you change or swap or alter has to be coded to the car, whether it be VIN or some sort of adaptation needed for it to work. So fingers crossed, let's see if it'll work, and we'll hope it'll be fine. Click. Anxious, very anxious. Moment of truth. Let's see if this will work. Unlock. Yes! Let's turn the lights on. There we go. Yes! It works. No programming needed after all. Now you may recall there was an active bonnet malfunction. We weren't sure why that was happening before, showing up on the dash. After digging in a little bit further, we've managed to find a loose connector. These are bonnet pretensioners. What they do is they just slide in here like so. That connector gets hooked up. In case of an accident, it springs up and it pushes against the back hinge of the bonnet, and you get that lifting action from the rear of the bonnet just to break the fall of any pedestrian or animal that you may hit. But hopefully that's not the case anymore. It looks like it was empty for quite some time in here because of the amount of dust that you're getting. They have decided to leave that in. Thank you for the bolt. The car has been repaired before. I did check the date on the sticker of this headlight, and it is newer, the year of manufacture for the car. So it has been hit before. Not sure why they would have left these active bonnet pretensioners out. I've seen a lot of people just use resistors to bridge between the two connectors to stop that error from happening, but it's not the right thing to do. So we'll just put these in and it'll be good to go. So my bad, these are Pyrotechnikreaktor. All right guys, there's one thing that I forgot to mention, and that is that here in Australia, there's a couple different categories for written off vehicles. Now I believe in the UK, you've got like category S or Cat N or whatever you might have there. Not sure what the US is like, but this is what it's like for Australia. So first category, you have the WOVA NA. What the WOVA stands for is a written off vehicle register. It's pretty much just like a database where all the damaged vehicles go on if they're involved in a crash. NA means it's not applicable. So a lot of the times you'd have cars that are over 15 years of age. They may have been damaged, but they're not on the WOVA. Second category would be your repairable write-off. What that is obviously a car like this one, which it is. Once it's been repaired, it will then have to go through 2 government inspections. One is called a Tier 3, which just checks for how the car was repaired, if it was repaired according to the manufacturer specification, and along with all the documentation like receipts and photos of the repairs that have been done. Second inspection for a written off vehicle would be your roadworthy. What that is just an overall check, just to make sure that the car has got good tires, that the car is not loose on the road, it's not clunking, bushes are fine, transmission's good, and so on and so forth. Third category, you'd have your stat write-off cars. Parts only. Here in Australia, you legally cannot fix and repair and re-register those cars. What a lot of the times people do is they get stat write-off cars, export them overseas, register them there. I have heard stories that people do bring them back sometimes back into Australia and register those cars here again. Last category, which it could be under, is an inspection pass write-off. Any car that has been written off before in a category 2, here for example, it's been repaired, passed the inspection and registered, it will then go into an inspection pass repairable write-off. Even if it's involved in another crash, let's say after that 15 years of age, it will still hold that title, but it won't be written off again. So that's that for now. All right guys, that's a wrap for part 1 of this build. There's gonna be a huge transformation happening to this car, so stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below what you think will be happening. See you on the next episode. What was the pinnacle of... Ah, bad. Delete. Wrong key.
If I can do it. Я трачу на this.
Anyway. Oh. Kaput. Leave a comment on whatever else you might... Very expensive piece of... Nah, delete. Might get transformed, might not. Nah, delete, stop.